Well, g'day everyone, and welcome back to another special edition Wednesday night episode with Trip for Two Australia. On tonight's episode, we're talking about all the things that are either essential for travelling Australia or things that we think that you might want to give a miss. Anyway, go and get yourself a cold drink, get your feet up for the next 10 minutes or so. Come and join us.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures?
Alright, well, on tonight's episode, we're going to go for a walk around our car and our caravan. We're going to talk to you about the things that we think that you either need or you don't need to travel Australia. If you think tonight's episode is about buying or what brand of coffee machine to buy for your caravan, switch it off now because we're not talking about anything like that. Okay, so the first thing that you need to determine is you need to determine the type of traveller that you're going to be. Are you going to be away on the odd weekend? Are you going away on school holidays? Are you going on a 3-month lap, a 6-month lap, or are you full-time on the road like we are? And that should guide the sorts of purchases that you make. I'm going to go through all of the things that we bought and fitted to our vehicle and to our caravan to try and give you an idea of the reasons why we did that and maybe some ideas as to why you don't need that. So I'm going to start right here at the front of the car. First of all, we have a bull bar. Now, we fitted a bull bar onto the car because we wanted to carry a winch. The reason we want to carry a winch is because we're going to go into isolated areas and we want to be able to recover ourselves if we need to when we've got no one else around to help us, and a winch was certainly essential for that. But if I was buying a bull bar to say I might buy it because I could hit an animal while I'm driving around, I'd probably think twice about that. And the reason I think twice is because they weigh a lot, and really your interactions with animals are very, very small on the road. We've done 45,000 Ks. I think we've had 3 close calls, and they were, as I said, close calls. Avoid driving early morning or late at night. You can probably eliminate most animal interactions that you have on the road. Spotlights of the vehicle, you definitely need those if you're driving out, particularly when you're driving at night. If you need to drive at night, they illuminate the roads very, very dark out in the outback, and this is absolutely essential. You need a good two-way communication system. It doesn't matter what you buy as long as you've got something that you can use to communicate with other drivers around you, particularly truck drivers, and in an emergency situation. The next thing that we've had fitted to our car is all-terrain tyres. Do I need them? If I'm going to do the sorts of touring that Ali and I do, where we're going onto beaches, dirt tracks, all those sorts of things, certainly. But if you're doing a lap around Australia and you don't intend on going off the bitumen, or you're not going off the bitumen for a long period of time, and I mean hundreds of kilometres of driving off-road, then you probably just need your on-road tyres. The type of tyre for a tourer that you don't need, I think, is you don't need mud terrain tyres. They're just not designed for that. 85% of most of your travel when you're travelling full-time in Australia is all done on a sealed bitumised road. Other thing about off-road tyres is they add more weight to your car, and you certainly need to be mindful of that. Alright, next one, I have to admit something here. Snorkel on the vehicle. We have it on here. Look, it's great. We do cross-border crossings from time to time. I think we've probably done about 3, but nothing too serious. It does keep the air up and out of the dust, I suppose, to a certain extent, but not a great deal. Is it an absolute necessity on the car? Probably not, but it does look good. Alright, but these are an absolute necessity. So if you're towing, you do need towing mirrors. These are the clear views, or the clear view 2s. What I like about them is they suit the car quite nicely, and they just pull out and extend. They operate off the same electric system inside the car, so I can adjust all of the mirrors from where I sit inside the vehicle. Essential to when you're towing, and I think it's actually the law that you've got to have the towing mirrors on. Alright, to our vehicle we fitted a tub canopy on the back. When we first set our vehicle up, we never set it up for caravan driving. We only set it up for going away camping with our swag and stuff on the back. Something you need to be aware of if you do put a canopy on. It doesn't matter what you put on there, it's going to add extra weight to your vehicle. We like it because it allows us extra storage, but as I just said, with the weight, you've got to be mindful of what you put in the back at the same time. It also supports our roof rack, and we use our roof rack every day of the week. I use it to store items up there whilst we're in transit. The other set of roof racks we have fitted on the vehicle are these ones at the front. These mount up our solar panel, which runs the battery in the back. So if you're going to have 2 batteries in your car, then you need something to charge that battery. For us, it's that solar panel. And here's the absolute essential item that you need, your own recovery boards. I think it was just the other day, we watched someone get bogged in some soft sand. They had no recovery gear on board. They had to borrow other people's that was around them. We offered ours, but at that stage, yeah, enough guys have walked over their max track. But make sure you carry your own, absolutely essential for travel. All right, the other thing we have fitted in our vehicle, and this is something you need to weigh up because once again, this adds a lot of weight, but you do need something that's good for storage. We use this. You just want to pan the camera now. This is our ARB storage drawers. Now, in here we only keep the absolute essential items that we need for travel. So I've got just my drills and stuff in here that I use for the caravan every single day of the week. Recovery gear, recovery gear, recovery gear. Sock for the snorkel. Just essential things that we use in the rare chance that we get ourselves in the put, but we've got our own gear to get ourselves out. And the other thing that I use is the toolkit. So I've got a tool roll inside of there, and that's pretty much it, isn't it, Al?
It is.
All right, and the other thing we get, this is a benefit when you make your sandwiches and stuff when you're on your lunch, is you do get a little pull out drawer. I'll just put that back in and show you. There you go, done. All right, the next thing that we think is absolutely crucial to safe travels when you're traveling around Australia is an onboard air system or a portable air system. So just throw the camera in here, Al. Right, so this is ours. We have the ARB compressor. It's fitted in behind here, and these are the controls that we use for that. I have some air hoses, and obviously I'll cut in footage and show you what we do with that. This is not what we started with. We did start out with one of the XTM ones that we bought at BCF. It worked absolutely perfectly. The only thing was that when I started to travel, I just wanted something that was a little bit more compact and manageable to get away. I didn't have to pull out all the time when I was using it. I just had to plug it in and use it. I think it's important, doesn't matter what you have, you need something to make sure that you can air up or air down when you need to. The last thing that we carry inside the back of our car that we think is essential to our travel is a refrigerator. And the reason we carry that fridge is obviously because we can hold extra drinks and stuff in it, but we use it as a freezer to hold meat and all those sorts of things that we want frozen that overflows from the fridge inside the car. All right, the last thing we fitted our car that I'd like to talk to you about is our awning. I've got to be very truthful here. Since we started touring with the Caravan, we very, very rarely have this out. Do I need this on the car? I probably don't. It does add extra weight. I think ours weighs about 18 kilos or so. It does come in handy when we go out to the beach or something like that. You want to run out some shade, but for those very, very rare times, probably don't need that one. Righto, just before we pop inside the Caravan and I show you the things that we've done in there and the sorts of things that we think are essential, maybe not so essential, just want to go through with you a couple of things which are definitely essential. They're the things that you buy, you put away, and you don't need them until you need them. Here's a couple here. So first up, puncture repair kit for your tyres. Absolutely essential in case you blow a tyre out, because remember, if you only carry one spare and that spare goes, that's the end of it. Flat batteries. Make sure you get yourself a decent jump start kit that will restart your battery in the event that it goes flat. Get yourself some first aid kits and make sure that you've got a snake bite kit. We carry these in our backpack all the time. I carry another first aid box up there in the side of the car, and we've also got one inside of the Caravan. But they're the sorts of things that you put away for a rainy day. Hope that you never need them, but one day you just might. All right, next thing we're going to talk about is the Caravan. We'll just start at the front, we'll work our way around, just talk about some of the things that we fitted to it. Once again, what we think is essential and what we think maybe you might not need. All right, so first thing, and this is absolutely essential, you need a good hitch lock for your Caravan. So when you leave your Caravan, particularly when you're remote and you want to go out for the day and things like that, you need that peace of mind to know that your Caravan is going to be somewhat secure while you're gone. Now, these systems aren't infallible. If they want your van, they'll just drag it up onto a bloody tilt tray and take it away with them. But if I have a deterrent on there, it might make them walk past me and the bloke next to me and the bloke next to me and just go somewhere else, or just give up on the idea of trying to steal your gear. So we use this Kovex alarmed hitch lock. This is in its alarm mode at the moment, so if I move it, it gives me a warning that it's about to alarm, and if I move it again or it gets tampered with again, then it's going to go off just like that. So what I really love about this is just a very solid construction. That's solid steel. Here it has an outer collar which can't be sawed through, so they can't saw through the pin that you can see here, and every time they touch it, the alarm just keeps going off. So I think that's a great deterrent. It fits perfectly into your DO35 hitch. Okay. Next thing, this was a cheapie. I think we got this at one of the shows, or we ordered online, and it cost us a couple of bucks. It's the shower buddy thing. It goes over the top of your shower head when you're traveling, but when you're not traveling, you bring it out here, stick it over the tops of your cables, and it keeps them all dry. So in there we obviously got our endo plug and our 12 volt and our safety Dave leads, keeps them all good. All right. work our way back, we actually replaced our jockey wheel. The jockey wheel that came with the Caravan was absolute rubbish. So we replaced it with this Boss one. What I like about it, let's bring the camera around the side here. There's no bloody wheel on it, so there's no threat of movement there. It sits on that flat platform. Just carry a couple of blocks of wood. Absolutely essential. A good jack stand, because you take your van off in some very precarious angles some days. You don't need it moving whatsoever. All right, next thing that we'll talk about is we fitted this to the van before we went to the Cape last year. This is our stone stomper. I know there's a variety of different types on the market. For us, this works absolutely perfect. It stopped all the rock strikes that we're getting on the front of the van. Just bring the camera now. Just on the front of the van here, you can see there's some rock strikes, little divots and stuff. This was pre-putting the stone stomper on. Since we put the stone stomper on, we've had no other problems. All right, next thing that we fitted to the Caravan that we think is absolutely essential, if you have a cassette toilet, or we have a cassette toilet, is a SOG. So it's just an exhaust fan. It hooks into the top of your cassette, and it exhausts the fumes that are in the cassette out the van through a charcoal filter fitted in here. Costs about 300 bucks, and it takes away the smell. It's absolutely fantastic. Next thing that's very, very important, particularly if you're driving long distances and you don't have the range in your petrol tank, is you need to bring some jerrys along with you. Now, most Caravans do not come fitted with jerry can holders. We bought these ones and fitted them on there. I use these almost every day of the week, particularly when we're out in the centre of Australia like we are now. We always carry excess fuel with us, and we have some more on the front where we carry excess water. You're only limited by the amount of fuel and water that you carry to keep you travelling off-grid for a long period of time. Definitely essential. All right, the last thing you want to do when you come out caravanning is you want to enjoy the great outdoors. You want to do that comfortably. So particularly if you don't want to bring the great outdoors inside the caravan every day of the week, we do that in a couple of ways. First of all, by the thing I'm standing on at the moment, so just pan the camera down now. This is the Sea Gear mat. This thing is absolutely fantastic. I can put dirt on it and it'll go through it, but it doesn't come back up through it. So you don't have this dirt, you just have this all the time. The only thing that doesn't go through it is grass and leaves. So from time to time I get the broom out and I give it a bit of a sweep. The other thing we use to stop the outside coming to the inside is we just have a sequence of muck mats. We've got one here, and then we have just one inside the step. Absolutely essential. We really notice the difference inside of the Caravan when we don't have these out, do we?
Yes, when they're not out, you notice the outside is inside.
You notice it straight away. So even if we've just got this one missing and we've only got the step one on, because we just stopped light for an overnight, the next day you can feel the gritty feeling just from walking in and out of the Caravan door. So absolutely essential, we reckon, for when you're travelling around Australia. They don't cost you a lot of bucks. In fact, when you buy your Caravan, get your manufacturer to chuck one in for you. Rightio. Decent set of chairs. We've had these for what, 3 years now?
Oh, longer. We had them when we were camping.
We did, yeah, that's right. They started out as camp chairs. They live up on the roof racks of the car when we drive around every day of the week. They're a little bit cumbersome to handle. They're not real heavy, but geez, I tell you what, they're sturdy. $159 a chair the day that we bought these ones at BCF. We got them on a 2-for-1 deal, so we actually bought both of them for $159, which was a really good deal. So there's the sorts of things you should shop around for, particularly if you're a BCF member. The other thing that's absolutely essential if you're going to use your awning is you never know when that breeze is going to come along and destroy your awning. You need to be able to tie it down. There is many brands of tie downs on the market. We use the Ground Dogs. We quite like them. They're very easy to use. They just roll up over the top of your awning barrel here. You can run them down onto the ground and they screw in via the hooks, and you have this elasticized spring here, and it all sits here stable. We've had up some very high winds. It doesn't bother the Caravan whatsoever, but you definitely need something to tie your awning down with. Oh, and one thing while we're outside here that I forgot, and this is something that we use every single day of the week. I installed it myself. It's really simple. Is this clothesline. That's it. It's just a line that runs from one side of the awning to the awning. If you want to know how to do this, do you want directions, there's plenty of videos online how to do that. I used the Trip in a Van one. All I did was Google search Trip in a Van clothesline. This come up, I went out, I bought all the parts and installed it in about 10 minutes. Absolutely fantastic. We use it every day of the week. All right, so just quickly jump inside the van to show you the sorts of things that we think are absolutely essential to have inside of the van if you are traveling. Some of the things that maybe the manufacturer didn't supply for you at the very start. Interior design of your van is totally up to you. But these are the things that we think are absolutely essential. First one, Sirocco fans. These are absolutely great, aren't they?
They were well worth the investment.
They were a couple of $100 each. Get them installed or install them yourself. Hot nights, you'll never ever look back. You can just turn them on, they keep going. They also improve your air conditioner flow around the caravan when you've got your aircon running, which is quite good. But these are great. Oh, and the other thing I use them for, sometimes I smoke out the van when I'm cooking. It's a good way to start pushing the smoke out windows before your fire detectors go off. The other thing that we fit inside the van, which has never failed us, touch wood, is our fusion lockware. So we put fusion lockware in our bathroom and in our kitchen, and we store things in there during transit, everywhere that we go. It's never failed us. The gear doesn't fall out. Really, really love them. And the last thing, and this is from I suppose a safety point of view, is we fitted a carbon monoxide alarm. So when we bought our caravan, I'm not 100% sure whether or not they are mandatory today, but it certainly wasn't when we bought ours a couple of years ago. So we went down to Bunnings, bought ourselves a carbon monoxide alarm, and we fitted it inside of the van, and we just change the batteries over in it when we do the smoke detectors every 12 months. Righto. The next thing that we think is absolutely essential, particularly when you're driving down dusty roads, is you need a good dust reduction system. We use a Caravan Sahara in ours, and you can see we've had it fitted up here in the back of our bathroom because there was an existing hatch here, so the manufacturer or the guys who installed it didn't need to cut an extra hole in the caravan. I tell you what, it works absolutely perfectly in here. I walk around the doors outside the caravan and the vents, and you can feel the air coming out once the caravan comes on. But I thought I'd take this opportunity while we're in this end of the van. We don't want to hang around down the toilet end too much, but we had a bit of a storage issue in here with our towels and stuff, because they ended up getting in like big piles, and there was balls and stuff in there. Went down to IKEA, we bought these. And this is one of the better things that we bought inside the van, isn't it, Al?
Yeah, it is good, especially if you want to get the bottom thing out, everything doesn't come down on top of you.
Yeah, I'll give you a look. So hopefully it's tidy. It's just got the zip on the front, and in here we just keep our towels and stuff. These have a steel frame inside them, and they stack well. They've been in the van now for, I want to say, the better part of about 12 months, and they've been absolutely fantastic, haven't they?
They have been. It's been a good invention. And up the top, we've got our less items that we don't use as much, so our sheets.
Yeah, sheets and all that sort of gear. So, and it works really, really well. And you don't get that just that pile of junk in there that gets thrown around and you can never ever find anything again. So yeah, they've worked absolutely fantastic. I'd definitely buy them again.
Yes, and it's also, instead of putting the shelf in to separate the two, we've now still got a big cupboard if we want to use it later on.
Exactly. Alright, the last thing I want to talk to you about inside of our caravan, and I've saved this one to last because this is the most expensive purchase that you'll make, and it's probably the one that you need to put the most sort of research into. You need to determine the sort of traveller that you're going to be, and what I'm talking about is our battery system that we have inside of the caravan. So if you're a person who's bought yourself a caravan and your intention is only go to a caravan park every other weekend and hook into the power down there, you don't need to listen to any of this. If you go away for a every so often, and you've got a couple of AGM batteries in there and a good solar blanket, and you can manage your fridge and those sorts of things, then you're probably not going to need to know this either. But if you're going to go and live off grid for long periods of time, and you are reliant upon power like we are with our Starlink and the other things that we do for living life on the road, then you need a good battery system inside of your van. We fitted into our van 400 amps of lithium. We have a 2,600 watt inverter in here, 720 watts of solar on the roof. And it all works perfectly for us. I think the big trap that people fall into these days with their battery systems is bigger is better, but that's not necessarily the case. You've got to be able to recover those batteries every day. So if I put 1,000 amps of lithium in here, technically I need 2,000 watts of bloody solar on the roof, and I never get it up there, so that's absolutely pointless. One thing that I think we all do as full-time travellers on the road in particular is you work out what power you need and how you manage that power, and we've found that right mix now for us between our car, our Blue Eddy AC240 power station, and our battery system that lives underneath the seat here, and it's absolutely fantastic. But before you buy any batteries, make sure you do your research. Generally the battery you get in your caravan when they give it to you, or run your compressor fridge, and that's pretty much about it. So just be mindful of that, ask a lot of questions, and do a lot of research before you start spending some very, very big dollars. Well, I'm going to end tonight's episode right here. We could talk all night about the different things that you could fit to your car or your caravan, or what you might not fit to your car or your caravan, and we understand that everybody's setup is different and everyone's wants and needs are different, but we thought we'd try and identify a few things that most people would be interested in, most people would be thinking about maybe fitting onto their gear. We hope that we've given you some good ideas, just like the good ideas that we get from other travellers as we travel around Australia. If you liked tonight's episode, please give us a like. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so. And finally, if you've got any questions or comments about tonight's episode, hit us up in the comments section. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But until Saturday, you guys have yourselves a great week. We'll see you Saturday at 9 o'clock. Bye bye.